Welcome to the e-commerce playbook, brought to you by IWD Agency, where we share tools, tips, and tactics from industry-leading experts to help you take your e-commerce game to the next level. Now here's your host, Joe McFerrin.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the e-commerce playbook. I got an exciting guest today, Raj from Yotpo. We've been working with Yotpo for many years now. Yotpo has been growing extremely fast, and we've used their products on many of our clients. So we're super excited to have him on our show today. Raj, you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Yotpo?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for having me. Thank you for having Yotpo, I should say, not just me. We are very fortunate. We're very lucky to be serving some of the most forward-thinking, amazing brands in the world. It's weird to say in the world.
Yeah,
but
super cool. Yeah.
So Yotpo is an integrated e-commerce marketing platform
hmm
for direct-to-consumer brands like Steve Madden, Away Travel, Rebecca Minkoff. We have even folks like Patagonia. So we tend to serve
Wow.
two different types of customers. One is the direct-to-consumer business, that's direct-to-consumer as a whole. So this is
hmm
like the Away Travels. This is kind of like Chubby's, Thinks, and then we have customers, much bigger, like incumbents, established customers like 1-800-Flowers,
Oh
Steve
wow.
Madden. That these are like $2, $3, $4, $5 billion brands that count on direct-to-consumer as a major part of their omni-channel strategy. So direct to consumer will be like a channel for them where it's just their own website, their own stores, things like that. And for them, they tend to find their most profitable channel is usually their own channel.
Sure.
They can go through wholesale, retail, Amazon even, to show growth. But at the end of the day, where they really make their money or net profit is usually when they have a direct-to-consumer channel that reaches consumers directly, and then they tend to retain more of their profit margin.
Okay. Yeah, sure. And what platforms do you currently support, and what are the main platforms that I guess that most of your customers are on?
Yeah, so we tend to support all the major platforms, and that starts with this tiny company called Shopify.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not tiny anymore. They have grown into this behemoth that is worth somewhere between 30 and $40 billion
Yeah, it's
uh,
insane.
market today, and that shows the overall secular growth of e-commerce, not just
Right.
as a channel. It's a whole business now for entrepreneurs, for brands big and small. So Shopify Plus is our bread and butter. We also support major companies like Salesforce and the Commerce Cloud there, and they're serving some of the biggest brands in the world. Magento is a key customer and a key partner of ours. We're a premier partner with Magento, and they're now part of Adobe, so they've become much bigger than they used to be. We also work with BigCommerce, and they're growing like crazy. They just have a massive round lately, or I call their growth round. So those are some of the major platforms. We also work with the SAP on their hybrid side, and they're powering some amazing brands as well. So, we're fortunate enough to work with a lot of these partners and very closely with them to power some amazing brands that
Okay.
count
Yeah,
them
sure.
as customers.
Yeah, it's insane. Even to go back to talking about Shopify and their growth. I mean, I heard they are now superseded eBay on as much revenue, e-commerce traffic, and they're right behind Amazon and catching up to Amazon as far as the amount of sales that they are currently doing. So yeah, it's pretty impressive the
Yeah, it's
dollar
interesting
amount
to
that
see this
they're
company that,
capturing.
when I was at GoDaddy earlier in my career, they were very tiny, and now I look at them, they're a quarter or a third of the valuation of like Salesforce, and that's also very indicative of the great leadership that Toby and Harley at Shopify have, and
Yeah.
they've done a great job kind of steering that ship. And I think what they did really well is building out that app store and the ecosystem. and they're also very partner friendly. So we're very lucky to also be working with them.
Yeah. And so do you find it pretty equal between, say, Magento, Shopify, and BigCommerce, a pretty equal amount of customers on each of those platforms, or is it kind of leaning one way or another?
Yeah, it's it really depends. Depends on the verticals, depends on categories, but we luckily we have some really great integrations with all of them. Some seamless, some via API, but we've definitely like taken the time and they've worked with us on developing these integrations. So, being part of their app store where these installs are seamless. Again, removing a lot of friction from the marketer standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, they've all now developed some sort of, they have some sort of app store type of concept,
Yeah.
where you can easily install Yotpo, get going with Yotpo, or depending on the complexity or maturity of the business, integrate with Yotpo on maybe an API level, things like that. So again, I think these platforms have realized that if you're serving everyone from very small businesses up to enterprises, they've developed kind of solutions for each one of those, like depending on revenue size categories.
Yeah. Yeah. And Yapa has a very interesting story of how you guys got started. You share a little bit about how Yapo got off the ground and got as much traction as you guys are getting.
Yeah, so originally started by two college students, Tomer Togren and Omri Cohen. I was fortunate enough to meet them a few years ago, and I'll tell you, I've worked with a lot of founders in my life, having worked at GoDaddy, EX, having invested a bunch of money in my own family office, and they're two of the most humblest guys you'll ever meet, but they are equally driven uh,
Hmm.
and maniacally focused on execution.
That's awesome. Yeah.
They got started. Tomer had initially he made a purchase, and he didn't have the right reviews or information to be able to tell him like if it was good purchase, bad purchase. Ended up being a bad purchase, and that was kind
Yeah.
of the genesis. And it sounds so simplistic now if you talk
Right.
about it, because it's part and parcel. But back then, if you think about like 6, 5, 6, 7 years ago, it wasn't as part of like the shopping
Right.
experience. And
Exactly.
that was a genesis of Yotpo, and they joined forces, and they've been maniacally focused on building out this platform that has pivoted from something that was just a reviews app to
Hmm.
one that serves, from a consumer perspective, billions of interactions.
That's
From
insane.
marketer perspective, we serve 6, 7 thousand brands now.
Wow.
From our own perspective, having done a acquisition, have 350 employees, 4 offices, it's a big ship.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but where it's also $101 million raised. It's
Wow.
it's definitely like it's testament to those two guys, but then also their ability to hire talent,
Hmm.
and at the right level, at the right revenue range. Having been through this, it's very hard to systematically grow,
Right.
uh, and a very linear type of level.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think that's why I love working with them, and what attracted me to Yotpo was just these two guys, and the transparency that they have with the whole team and how they operate is just compared to like the headlines that you hear nowadays in SaaS and
Yeah.
markets. They're a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, yeah, we're at, in Austin currently. They're doing startup week, so we definitely get the startup scene, the startup vibe, and it's exciting. But then also to see the other end of it, to see companies just blow through and be super successful like you guys, and get a lot of traction, is just super impressive, and
Yeah, and
it's
we hope
something that.
never to lose that startup mentality, right? Like, this company started in Tel Aviv, and now we have a New York office. We're pushing 150. We're kind of bursting at the seams. So we
Wow.
just actually are we're moving into a new space that gives us room for growth. Puts us very close to our customers in Soho and NoHo as well, because that's where all of retail is migrated in New York.
Hmm. Sure.
So yeah, we're the growth rate is. I mean, we had a class of 15 start like a couple weeks ago, and then another class of 15 start now. So
Wow.
from the early days of New York when it was like 4 people to 150,
Yeah,
it's interesting to see that growth rate.
that's awesome. To talk a little bit about Yacht Post feature set and kind of, you know, comparatively, I know that you guys started with reviews, and now the platform's a lot more. But if someone's just using native Magento or native Shopify, what type of features um, would make them want to go over to consider Yotpo? What do you think is a use case, or what are y'all's main primary features that people get excited about?
Yeah, so I think the beauty of this is that Tomer has been maniacally focused on product, and he is probably one of the most he has the most proximity to, or the least amount of proximity when it comes to our customers. And what that has basically led to is that we have this platform that now encompasses, I call it industry leading, and I am obviously biased, but I
Sure.
look at what we do, how we've grown into it, and we feature a range of solutions, not just reviews, but now visual UGC, and
Mm-hmm.
reviews and ratings on its own has also evolved and innovated on, where we give like Amazon like almost features to every brand out there, where you can filter by topics.
Yeah.
Like if I'm buying beauty cream, and I'm not saying I am today, but I have dry skin or oily skin, I can click on a smart filter that says oily skin, and I can only see reviews for oily skin.
Okay.
That,
Yeah, that's
that,
cool. Yeah.
that for a brand, just in the review space, is revolutionary, right? Because
Right.
now I only see what is applicable to me. This is for me. And if it works for me, I'm going to buy it faster. I'm going to have a checkout faster. Beyond that, we do visual UGC. So if you're in fashion, beauty, home, where it's a very visceral type of experience, we help you bring your customers like Instagram pictures where they're tagging you, uh,
Mm-hmm.
to the buyer journey. So you can have like a MVM movement watches does this really well, where you can have a strip of visual UGC in the product page or the PDP. You can have other people that look like you, are like you,
Oh, okay. That's cool.
show their Instagram pictures where they're wearing the same watch.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
look at that. You're like, you build that social proof at the end of the day. You're like, wow, this person who
Mm-hmm.
is enjoying this watch, having a great life. It's not just a brand picture anymore. It's real life.
Right.
And we actually help bring that to life throughout the buyer journey. So that's
Yeah.
visual UGC. And then, our most recent acquisition of Swell Rewards, which we made last year in August, has introduced the concept of rewards and referral, uh,
Okay. Yeah.
e-commerce brand. And that, largely the genesis behind that was we heard from a lot of our customers that acquisition was getting expensive. They're acquiring all these customers. How do they retain them? How do they bring them back? And, for us, that turned into a whole lot of due diligence, and then post acquisition, probably one of the most successful like acquisitions I've seen, because it was at the right time. Obviously, timing is critical. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but we actually listened to our customers and gave them something that is end to end, which is I acquire all these customers, I engage all these customers, now help me retain all these customers.
Yeah.
And, Steve Madden's a great example. I'll quote Jeff Silverman, who's the president of Steve Madden. He recently at our conference spoke about this, and he said, close to 50% of his customers now are coming in through the loyalty program.
Wow.
And that customers he's already spent money to acquire, so he doesn't have to spend more money to bring them back,
Yeah.
or incremental money, right, from paid media perspective, or spend on Facebook, things like that. So yeah, all those things encompass the solution set. We also have a lot of features around, like Google seller ratings, which is a very important key feature if you're an e-commerce brand
Oh,
to
yeah. Totally.
Google. Uh, and then just multitude of other features like insights on top of reviews data that gives you maybe by area of focus, area of business, like where you're doing well, where you're not doing well, by product, things like that. So that's at a large scale kind of like what we do. Sorry, long-winded answer, but that's
No,
the
no, it's your product has a ton of feature sets, and it's just hard to fit them all into a small window of
yeah,
kind of
ultimately,
going
like
over them.
we
But
give the voice of the customer, basically we weave that into the entire buyer journey,
yeah,
right?
and maybe with another one of your guys that we could do a live demo of some of those features and feature sets, because I know there's just so encompassing to do, especially
Yep.
over just a short period of time. But the reviews are super exciting. Reward points. What kind of things can you reward a customer for? Is it Is it the social media posts, reviews? What
Yeah.
type of
So there's
ways can you reward people?
I'll give you two examples. So the two examples are, I'll quote Steve Madden because they've just done an incredible job. I mean, if you want to meet an e-commerce executive that has uh, delivered as much as an e-commerce executive or marketer says customer centric, Jeff Silverman's definitely it. The other piece of this is Third Love. And they're a probably one of the hottest brands out there that's taking on incumbents like Victoria's Secret. They've both done a unique use case or unique implementation of loyalty.
Hmm.
So Steve Madden has gone with, if you refer us, if you sign up, if you do a social post, we'll give you maybe a 5% discount, 10% discount, and that's kind of like how they're using loyalty or facets of loyalty to bring people back.
Hmm.
Third Love, on the other hand, has created a loyalty program that's based on access. So their brand is basically, we will give you access based on activities that you do, and that could be a social post, that could be signing up for the email, that could be referring a new customer, and they'll basically unlock levels of access based on the activities that you're doing. So instead of discounts,
Super
there's
cool. Yeah.
yeah, we'll give you more. We'll invite you to our experiences that we do maybe in your city,
Right. Yeah.
or we'll give you exclusive access to a line that we're doing, but it's only
Everybody
open,
else has it. Right. Yeah.
right? So those are like two vastly different strategies, but the flexibility of the program is such that you can design this based on your brand strategy. So we don't pigeonhole you into one or another thing, and get going really fast. Like Jeff Silverman at Steve Madden, like they got going in less than 3 weeks. Or
Wow.
sorry, less than
That's
3 months.
insane. We
Uh,
built a rewards program like that, opening up exclusive offers and that kind of stuff for Marucci a couple years ago, and it took us 6 months to build out the program because
yeah,
there was no apps that currently
and we
had
get
those
a
feature
lot of
sets.
customers that prospects and customers that come to us and brands that come to us and they'll say, listen, I paid for this loyalty program. It's been a year. I haven't even implemented it.
Yeah,
Too convoluted. We don't understand our strategy. So we'll walk them through how other customers of ours and verticals, things like that, are doing their strategy. What are they doing? How are they implementing? We have the case studies, and at that point, it's just a matter of lather, rinse, repeat, right? Like we'll show you what's possible with it. We also want you to come with your own strategy as well,
yeah,
obviously.
right.
Your
It's not a
your
cookie cutter out of the box.
but we can definitely help you design something that fits your brand at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Speaks your voice, speaks your customer's voice, and at the end of the day, like it drives revenue, right? At the end of the day,
yeah,
you want e-commerce sales, you want customers, you want to end with more money than you started with,
totally.
right?
Yeah,
So
right. Exactly.
that's what it really does. Uh,
ROI focused.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and then you get going fast, and it's we have integrations with the likes of Salesforce, Shopify, Magento. So like it is the speed to market is a key differentiator, right? Because you can start making money faster.
Yeah,
Uh,
totally.
Instead of dead money that's sitting in a contract, right? That you haven't implemented.
Well, you can also just test different scenarios quicker too. So you
Right.
can test a rewards program or
And
test different.
sometimes you might want to test referrals instead of rewards, right? So you have
Right.
all the flexibilities with us. And listen, if you want to just test out, you want to start with the referrals, let's start with the referrals.
Yeah.
Let's step into this. So, it doesn't have to be a giant undertaking either. A
Yeah.
lot of companies will come to us or brands will come to us because they have been burnt in the ecosystem, or, they never got going, and they probably try to take on too much at the same time too. So we'll say, okay, let's maybe start with the referrals. Let's see,
Yeah.
let's prove our worth with that. And we know it works.
Yeah.
Uh, and lo and behold, you'll see that they'll then start with the rewards, and they'll want UGC because it all
Hmm.
ties together at the end of the day. Leave the
Exactly.
review, get points,
Yeah.
right? The review, get a discount, things like that. So, and a lot of this also works online and offline. And Steve Madden, again, I'll keep saying Steve Madden, Steve Madden, Steve Madden, because they do such a good job. With Shopify, they've implemented Shopify POS offline and Shopify obviously online.
That's
So
cool.
the reward system works online and offline as well.
That's
So if you
awesome.
go to a Steve Madden store, you'll see SM Pass offline and you'll see
Hmm.
SM Pass online.
Yeah.
So if you're opening stores, which a lot of these new age brands are, or if you're an established brand, you already have stores. We were able to make that work online and offline too.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you mentioned Steve Madden's a lot, and I know you have a ton of case studies on your website. But you know, just do you have any reference to case studies and what other brands have done in the past that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, so I mean, we have, from a case study perspective, I would say I love using this word, the plethora of
Yeah,
uh, of case studies. So you'll see, if you go to our website, you can grab case studies on different strategies based on the solutions our customers have. So you can, grab like a UGC case study for movement watches. You can grab like loyalty studies for companies like Third Love, companies like Steve Madden. You can also grab studies like if you're an established brand or if you're a brand that has too many marketing applications. And we saw this a lot too. The reason why we keep building out this platform is marketers came to us and said, "I'm using 15 different products, 15 different companies," and my brain wants to explode because I'm like,
yeah,
if you want to do your job, you have 15 roadmaps, 15 customer success managers, 15 QBRs, 15 upsells and cross sells they're probably trying to do. And let's be honest about it. That's what you have to do to survive. That's got to be a nightmare for
yeah.
marketers.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So, like, again,
And
I'll say
even
it
for the
again.
tech stack, just integrating all those, so
Right.
making them all
And
talk to each other. Yeah.
Jeff at Steve Madden, like we replaced three different applications with Yoppo. So
Ah, yeah.
they had something
Awesome.
for referrals, something for rewards, and something for UGC.
Yeah.
All three are on different timelines, different contracts, different roadmaps, different yeses and different nos.
Yeah.
And we came in at a consolidation. Like they're obviously they were probably paying too much or paying. So we consolidated everything. One place
Yeah.
from a purchasing perspective. One customer success manager,
No, I
one
love it. Yeah.
integration manager, one engineer. It all came down to like it was so much more simpler for them.
That's awesome.
And if you go to actually Yotpo.com, you look for the case study, you'll see Jeff Silverman. He's quoted in there talking about the simplicity of having one platform that connects it all, then also has the data across all three applications,
Yeah. That's
right?
awesome.
So you're not downloading, uploading, exporting, importing, and
Yeah.
this is like real stuff that marketers are doing. They're spending so much time gathering
Jumping
insight
around. Yeah.
data, sending it all back and forth between all these applications, and then trying to put it all back in one 360 viewpoint. And for us, the thesis is that we are going to give you best in class platform that does everything for you from a voice customer perspective, content perspective, and connect it all via common data platform.
Yeah. No, and I
Uh,
love your guys' back end UI. It's very sleek and sexy and good reporting and analytics.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
we
all well put
actually
together.
recently just launched our loyalty dashboard as well. That's rolling out now, so you can see the complete ROI of the
That's amazing.
loyalty program,
Yeah.
how much money you're making because of that, all points spend, all these things. So we want to be as transparent as possible. It's your data, it's not ours.
Yeah.
We want to make sure, A, it makes sense to you, and B, that, it makes sense to you.
Yeah. Totally.
So,
Yeah.
that's our thesis.
Well, and like you said, you have a ton of case studies online. We'll definitely put a link to that in our show notes so people can easily get to those. It's like it's looking at those, it makes Yotpo pretty much a no-brainer. But I know that you're super busy, and we don't want to keep you all day. But just a couple other kind of off-topic questions. Outside of Yotpo, what do you like to do for what do you like to do for fun?
I never leave.
Never
No, I'm
leave.
joking. No,
Work all the time.
uh, no, you need a passion. I've been doing this for a while. I've been very lucky to have been part of like two companies that have gone public. So it's kind of like lather, rinse, repeat for me. It's also like somewhat of a drug for me to like build these processes and predictable companies. So that in itself is like, when you love what you do, it tells you all its secrets.
Yeah.
So that in itself, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like I
never
get it
been
because
one
I've
to
done that
find,
as well, and it's like a
yeah,
chess game. You're playing a game. It's a strategy game at some point, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
never been
yeah,
one to find work and like life trade offs or balance. I think you just try to find harmony in what you do.
yeah. That's awesome.
And I think off work, I have a kiddo. I love spending time with him. We have this crazy dog that we try to somehow obey commands. We
Nice.
live in New York, so we're in the center of the universe.
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
So, it's New York keeps us busy. Travel as much as I can, and lucky enough to have great friends, and
Yeah,
family. So, yeah, I stay busy.
that's awesome.
On
Where's
the
your
flip
favorite
side,
place to travel to? Do you have any favorite locations or?
yeah, I mean, I love the West Coast as much as I like the East Coast. The West Coast is my favorite. Napa is one of my favorite places. I have a
I
place
love
in
it.
Vail, Arizona. So, I lived there for almost 20 years. I still do.
Oh,
Arizona,
that's really cool.
my home state.
Yeah,
uh, and that's where I go to like find peace
yeah.
every now and then. But yeah, Arizona is definitely somewhere I sleep well when I go there.
It's a yeah, peaceful place for you, huh? Nice.
Yeah,
Uh, well, Raj, super excited to have you on the show. Appreciate your time today. It's been awesome to hear about the story of Yotpo and some of the features and all that good stuff. So, once again, appreciate you having you on the show. It's been great.
no, thank you for having us. We love working with you guys. You're a great partner. We obviously can't do this without partners like you. So if we can do anything more, let us know. We're always looking for feedback. Just like our the consumers leave reviews, don't forget to give us a review as well.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Uh,
y'all are super. The communication line seems to be very great with y'all. That's why we like working with you guys too. So,
we're
yeah,
very lucky
great
to have
people.
great, very
Yeah,
lucky.
yeah.
All right,
Cool,
sir. Thank
Raj. Thanks, man. Talk to you later. Bye.